Alright, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to be watching the movie Happy Hour, recommended by Marty. So Marty, here you go, except we're going to be watching the DVD title, which is under the title Sour Grapes. Same movie, let's check it out. The movie starts with some pillaging. But it turns out to just be a beer commercial.
So come on, reach for the stuff. Reach for Marshall. The beer that definitely.
We got a guy here who's joining this. The Marshall team. They make Marshall beer, amongst other things. So Blake is his name, and his partner Meredith there have created a chemical that when you add it to things, it makes it very addictive. And in this case, it actually got him some beer. A mouse got it and loved it. Of course, the guy gets the majority of the credit for it, and he gets promoted. Sales go through the roof. And poor Meredith, she kind of got shut out, and she's jealous because she helped make that formula.
Added to our beer, this stuff makes it irresistible, practically addictive. No matter how many Marshall beers you drink, you want more. What's even better? It's undetectable, untraceable, and can't be duplicated by anyone.
Sir, but it can be stolen. Half the formula is missing.
Half? How the hell can you lose half of it?
We've been storing it in 2 separate vials. One is added to the beer, the other was in chemical research. That's the one we're missing. For 3 days.
They figure out that it's Meredith.
We run a spot survey on Western beer sales over the last 48-hour period. El Macho sales show a net 14% increase.
Lakeside.
And here's Meredith at a rival beer company
$5 million, that's more than interest.
with Rich Little.
Touche. Chateau Margaux.
My kind of guy.
Jesus Christ, with lungs like that, you should be able to live down there. Try again.
What's this guy's name, anyway?
Muff, sir.
They're going to hire spies to try to get that vial back. So they're going to hire a guy named Crummy Fred, played by Jamie Farr. Why is he crummy? Well, here he is shooting ladies in the butts with a BB gun for no reason.
Meredith has disappeared, and she took some of the stuff with her to a competitor.
Meredith, I don't believe it. Why would you do that?
Who knows? Jealousy, envy, sour grapes.
You know what they say, a woman scorned.
Rich Little's trying to get into Marshall beer.
Next month, so as I could get you the research, we'll be meeting in the director's office.
That'll be fine.
Oh, no, you don't understand.
I most certainly do. I'll take the job. I think you'll find my qualifications are in order.
So he breaks into the place and is trying to charm the bimbo to get information.
Have you, worked here long?
About a year.
For Mr.
And Marshall Brewery is going to hire Crummy Fred.
What about money?
Name your terms.
$500.
$500.
Plus expenses. I don't come cheap.
Apparently 82% of the country is now drinking.
Graceful, isn't it? What? All these people and the drinking and all it leads to.
They seem perfectly happy.
You really think so? It's not as hopeless as it seems.
82% of adult Americans now drink beer regularly. The beer drinking age was lowered to 6 yesterday, meaning there's a whole new market out there. Our profit and loss statement will be ready by the end of the week.
There's a lot of slapstick in this movie. That woman you saw there is Tawny Katane. She's on Freddie the Crummy Fred's team, and that's Eddie Deason, also with Crummy Fred.
My cereal? Of
on your cereal?
Beer!
You will have milk on your cereal.
I want beer!
Milk!
Beer!
Milk!
I want beer! I want Marshall!
Of course, Sheila creates a fake badge so he can get into Marshall Beard as Blake. And is Blake about to get kidnapped?
Hey, hey, hey!
Yes and no. He's kidnapped, but it's a ruse.
They make it look realistic. I said realistic, not sadistic.
Like, this is ridiculous. I've never been so scared my entire life.
I mean, there's no other way.
That's his wife.
Buddy, we are now.
Crummy Fred's team took a plane,
You idiot! This is Mexico!
but they went to the wrong place.
Always where it's just for the left!
So Blake is believed to have been kidnapped, so he's now trying to break into La Macho's brewery. And he runs into Meredith there.
Cover the west wing. I'll live the third floor. Wilma, check out the ladies' bathroom.
And she's going to help him.
All right. What if I were to tell you that someone else is planning to destroy your vial tonight? Somebody with guns, lots of guns, but no brains. Could we help them?
They demand a vial. You offer money. Now, we can get him anytime we desire. But we got no need for any vial.
But you could use the money.
Bingo, beer breath. And you slap $1 million in locker number 3 in concourse fee of the Denver International Airport.
Crummy Fred and his team are trying to break into the other brewery.
I don't think I can do it that fast.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And they are successful at breaking in.
I knew it. The brewery manager's office. The laboratory must be close by.
From here on, no talking, no noise. Hand signals.
And Rich Little's doing his part to break in to the other brewery.
Coffee. Mr. Johnson. Mormons, coffee. Mormons don't drink coffee. I seem to have made a mistake.
Is Johnson your real name?
Ah.
Blake and Meredith are going to run off
What's to keep me from taking
the
it
formula
back?
themselves.
Too late. Lakeside will scream bloody murder. They have no reason not to. Unless, of course, neither side has the ingredient. Look, we keep quiet and we keep the ingredients. Okay? Sad to say, you both still sell a lot of beer even without it.
May find our
And that's our film.
somewhat oblique. It is to those I say, sour grapes.
All right, let's talk about this movie, Happy Hour, otherwise known as Sour Grapes, as it is in this DVD. It's a movie that I originally rented and copied. I think I got it from a place called Vid Video in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, back around 1989 or so. And never watched it until probably the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, mid-90s, I don't know. And I didn't care too much for it. The movie itself, it's a rated R movie is what it says, although I can't imagine why, because there's hardly any language in it. There's no nudity. There's really nothing R-rated in my opinion. But anyway, what we have here is two scientists who discover that this little chemical or whatever they've made can cause addiction, basically, to whatever food they put it in, and they ultimately put it into a beer, and this beer becomes wildly popular and ends up selling. Suddenly, the 82% of the country is drinking this beer, and they've lowered the drinking age to 6. Everybody's just having a grand old time drinking beer. Well, this is a comedy, by the way. Somebody obviously, or one of the scientists decides to steal the formula to give to a rival brewery, La Macho Brewery, I think it was, as opposed to Marshall Brewery, where the beer originally came from. And then, but they have like one half of the formula or half of the formula. I'm not exactly sure exactly. It wasn't quite explained if it's the same formula or just part of it. But anyway, so Marshall Brewery decides to send a spy, Jamie Farr, and actually his partner Tony Katane, and Eddie Deason also joins them to try to retrieve that. Meanwhile, La Macho Brewery also sends a spy out, with in this case is Rich Little, to try to steal the other half of the of the formula that they don't have. So basically, you have two companies with each half of a formula trying to steal the other half from the rival brewery, and that's what's it. There's just a lot of slapstick goes on in this film, and ultimately, at the end of this movie, the two original creators of this formula decide to run off with the formula themselves, and that's kind of how the movie ends. So there you go. I do have a pre-recorded VHS tape of this called Happy Hour, which I showed you at the beginning of this video, and it's only available on this DVD under the title Sour Grapes. It's one of these made-on-demand limited edition collections, what MGM calls it. Kind of like the Warner Archive collection, except it's MGM's version of it. So you can get this movie. I'll keep a link down below, but you can get this for about $16, $17, $18 or so on Amazon and eBay. Let's see, Jamie Farr, Rich Little, Tawny Kitaen. It actually has a pretty decent cast, although, I don't know, I didn't laugh a whole lot in this movie. There's a couple of funny things here and there. A lot of slapstick, like I said. It's just, I didn't know exactly where this film was going, to be honest with you. But anyway, it's a movie, right? So anyway, check it out. Let me know what you think about it. Again, this was recommended by Marty. Leave some comments down below and we'll talk about it. It's called Sour Grapes, otherwise known as Happy Hour. Watch it. Bye.